Mr. Bun Goes Missing, Chapter 1. Where's Mr. Bun? Adjoel woke up to the sound of birds chirping outside his window. He stretched and yawned, then got out of bed and went to check on his pet rabbit, Mr. Bun. But when he reached Mr. Bun's cage, he found it empty. Adjoel's heart sank. Where could Mr. Bun be? He searched for his beloved Mr. Bun. He had looked everywhere in his house, but there was no sign of him. As he stepped out of his house, the bright sun shone on his face, and he took a deep breath of the fresh morning air. His heart was heavy with worry. He started asking his neighbors and friends if they had seen Mr. Bun, but nobody had any information. Anxiety grew with every passing minute, and he started to feel desperate. He needed to find Mr. Bun. Suddenly, he noticed a small hole in the backyard fence that he had never seen before. His heart raced as he wondered if Mr. Bun could have escaped through it. He ran towards the fence and peered through the hole, but he couldn't see anything. His mind raced with thoughts of what could have happened to Mr. Bun. Had he escaped through the hole? Was he lost in the neighborhood? Had someone taken him? He didn't know what to do next. He had asked his neighbors if they had seen Mr. Bun, but some shook their heads while others looked at him with confusion. He stood there, frozen with worry. Then a neighbor approached him. "Is everything okay?" she asked. Adjoel explained the situation, and the neighbor promised to keep an eye out for Mr. Bun. But Adjoel knew he couldn't rely on just one person to find his precious pet. He continued his search, his eyes scanning the neighborhood for any sign of Mr. Bun. The sun was now high in the sky, and Adjoel's energy was waning. He felt defeated and worried he would never see his furry friend again. This is when his search led him to a garden, where he thought Mr. Bun might have wandered off. He searched the bushes and trees, calling out Mr. Bun's name. But there was no sign of him. Defeated, he started walking back home. His mind was filled with worry and fear. He couldn't imagine life without Mr. Bun. He needed to find him, and fast. Just as he was about to step out of the garden, lost in thought, he noticed something strange on the ground. He turned around to check if someone wasn't looking at him. He then bends down to take a closer look. It was a tuft of fur that seemed like it belonged to Mr. Bun. Adjoel's heart raced as he followed the trail of fur, hoping it would lead him to his missing pet.